put too much pressure on Tyler Perry.
He doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him.
The people that been in his productions, they not famous. All of them can walk through the mall without security.
Katt Williams just blasted Tyler Perry and called him a straight-up fraud, and he wasn't laughing or cracking jokes. He said it with full chest, dead serious. And the way Hollywood reacted? Yeah, they're shook. This wasn't one of Katt's wild rants people love to brush off. This felt like a warning shot, a real expose aimed at one of the biggest power players in the industry, Tyler Perry. Worth hundreds of millions, praised for that. From nothing to everything rise, celebrated as a symbol of Black excellence. But Katt is claiming the whole image is smoke and mirrors. According to Katt, Tyler Perry isn't the inspirational figure everyone lifts up. He's actually part of the problem, a man who built a massive empire on control, manipulation, and illusion.
See somebody do a good job, I just want to do a good job.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow the example.
Yeah.
Right? So Tyler Perry got a military base.
That's correct.
Made it into a movie studio and start making movies.
And if what Katt is saying is even halfway true, then a lot of folks might have to rethink everything they thought they knew about Tyler Perry. This situation gets deep real quick. It's way bigger than two celebrities going back and forth. This is about power moves, hidden agendas, and what happens when one man refuses to bow down to Hollywood's system.
Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life. They play good women, and I believe that the best actor should be in the best role.
And like always, Katt isn't holding back at all. He's swinging with every word. Now let's take it back for a moment. Tyler Perry, once homeless, sleeping in his car, goes on to build one of the biggest film studios in the country. The face behind Medea, the one people call the self-made mogul. But according to Katt, that whole story might not be what it seems. Tyler Perry built his own version of Hollywood right in Atlanta.
Tyler Perry got a military base.
That's correct.
Made it into a movie studio and started making movies.
A whole operation he controls from top to bottom. He talks faith, hustle, and independence. He tells people they don't need the big studios. Build your own. And yeah, on the surface, that sounds real motivational. That's the Tyler Perry everyone sees on TV. But Katt Williams says that's only one side of the story. He claims that behind the cameras, behind the speeches, behind the wigs, behind all the praise, there's a whole different Tyler Perry. Someone who plays the same system he says he's fighting against. Says dude mastered manipulation just like the old Hollywood machine did. And Katt isn't new to calling out powerful figures. He's gone at executives, comedians, networks, anybody he felt was doing wrong. But when he brought up Tyler Perry, the energy shifted. His tone hit different. He said Tyler Perry is a fraud because he's pretending to be somebody he's not. Katt said he's no savior for the community. Behind the scenes, he's just another gatekeeper. That word gatekeeper keeps popping up because Katt and others in the industry have been saying for years that Tyler's doing the exact thing he claims to stand against, keeping control over the culture instead of helping open it up.
Carrot made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, they're trying to...
What is happening in Hollywood that a guy that tough will be on the street waving a gun, screaming, they are trying to kill me?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross. For me, I know what they...
I wasn't walking away from the money.
Yeah.
I was walking away from the circumstances that were coming with the newfound.
And look, Tyler Perry's rise is legendary. No denying that. The man owns over 300 acres of studio property in Atlanta worth massive money. He built an empire of shows, films, and plays that turned him into a billionaire. But once you start talking to folks who've actually worked with him, the writers, actors, crew members, you start hearing a different story. Writers saying they were underpaid and pushed too hard, actors saying they got iced out after speaking up, crew members hinting at treatment that that didn't match the polished public image. When people tried to push back against Tyler Perry, even the Writers Guild of America, he still refused to let writers unionize on his shows, and that had a lot of folks looking sideways. And when Katt Williams saw all that happening, he finally said, "Enough is enough." He said Tyler Perry isn't uplifting Black people. He's exploiting them. That's a heavy claim, so let's break it down. Tyler Perry built his whole image on being the independent king, answering to nobody, running his own studios, funding his own projects, picking his own casts. But according to Katt, independence doesn't always equal freedom. He says Tyler Perry is just another major player in the same Hollywood-style system. Only difference is now he's the one holding the power. Katt says Tyler talks ownership nonstop, but keeps everyone under tight control. And that's not freedom, that's authority. And once you start paying attention to his patterns, things start lining up. Think about it. Tyler Perry's movies have been called out for years for how they portray Black men and women. The stories almost always revolve around trauma, cheating, chaos, broken homes. And yeah, there's usually a strong Black woman in the mix, but she's often portrayed as hurt, stressed, or needing someone else to finally catch a break. A lot of critics say his billion-dollar empire is built on stereotypes that do more harm than good, and Katt came at him directly for that. He said, "If you say you love your people, then stop making money off their struggles." And that's what makes Katt different. He's not just talking about fame or checks. He's talking energy, legacy, the power of storytelling. He believes whoever controls the stories controls the minds of the people. And in Katt's eyes, Tyler Perry has turned into the same kind of manipulator Hollywood used to be. Other comedians and actors have quietly hinted at the same thing, that Tyler Perry's version of empowerment feels selective, like he chooses who gets a spotlight and who gets left outside. And if you question him, you might find yourself pushed out of the circle real quick. Even Monique, the Oscar-winning actress, said she felt blocked out of Hollywood after she wouldn't play along with certain expectations. And one of the names she mentioned straight up was Tyler Perry. She said he played a role in her career getting frozen, and when she finally confronted him, he apologized in private, but stayed silent in public. Katt Williams backed her up and said, "That's what fake power looks like, because apologizing behind closed doors while acting wholly in front of cameras sends a mixed message." So now you've got Monique, Katt Williams, and more voices speaking up, all saying similar things, that Perry built his empire while some people around him stayed quiet because they felt they had to. And the more you look into it, the more their stories start sounding connected. Because even though Tyler Perry talks about faith, family, and positivity, there have been public complaints and disputes from past employees. People who said things behind the scenes didn't match the polished image. And yes, some lawsuits have appeared over the years, but like any major company, big studios face legal issues all the time, so nothing can be taken as proof of anything without real evidence. Still, the conversations continue because folks are trying to understand what's really going on. And Katt knows that. That's why his words land with so much weight. He said, "You can't build something meaningful if your energy isn't clean." That line hit hard. But what really makes Katt's message sharp is that he's not just talking about Tyler Perry as one person, he's talking about the whole system around him. He's saying the so-called independence isn't as simple as it looks, and that the money and support behind Perry are tied to bigger networks and major business structures. Katt Williams says the whole situation is really about who controls the narratives and who gets paid from them. And when you look at Tyler Perry's business moves, his partnerships have always been with major companies: BET, Viacom, Lionsgate, Netflix, huge corporations that publicly support Black creators, but still keep ownership of the projects they fund. So the question Katt wants people to think about is simple. Is Tyler Perry truly independent, or is he just operating inside a bigger machine? Katt said, "Everybody think Tyler Perry beat the system, but you can't beat the system when you part of the system." That line hits because he's speaking from his own experiences, not trying to insult anybody. Katt has talked for years about what he faced when he spoke up in Hollywood: being pushed aside, being labeled, losing opportunities, losing shows, losing stages. He said, "They can't control me, so they try to shut me down." But Tyler? they celebrate him. And to Katt, that contrast says a lot. If you look at how their careers moved, the difference is noticeable. Katt was once one of the biggest comedians out, selling out arenas, dropping hit specials, owning the stage. Then suddenly, it felt like every time his name hit the news, it was tied to trouble or confusion. But Katt said those moments weren't random. They were consequences for speaking his truth about the industry. Meanwhile, Tyler Perry's image stayed clean, protected, and praised, supported by huge names like Oprah, recognized by presidents, and welcomed into every major room. Doors opened for him with ease. Katt isn't saying this to tear anyone down. He's saying it to show how different two paths can look when one person challenges the system and the other works comfortably within it. Every major network handed Tyler Perry big checks, and that's what Katt means when he calls the situation a fraud. Not because Tyler lacks talent, but because the system lifted him up, not for being bold, but for being safe. Hollywood loves a success story, but only when they can shape the ending their way. And Katt says Tyler Perry fits that role perfectly. He's the version of the made-it black man they can promote without feeling threatened. He's the uplifting story they love to sell. The guy who came from nothing and turned into a powerhouse. The inspirational figure tied to faith and positivity that makes everybody feel comfortable. But according to Katt, Perry didn't rise by breaking chains. He rose by polishing them. That's a heavy line, and it had the internet arguing non-stop. Some people said Katt was jealous, or that he was letting his personal battles talk for him. Others said he's the only one bold enough to speak on what so many whisper about. But one thing nobody can deny: when Katt talks, the world stops to listen. Because he's not chasing fame. He's not begging Hollywood for anything. And that makes him a real threat in this game. Katt said, "They can't buy me, so they try to hide me." And in a world where staying quiet is the easiest path, he's willing to risk everything to stand on his truth. And to keep it balanced, Tyler Perry's supporters have spoken up too. They say he's opened doors for black actors who were ignored, created jobs, funded projects, and built opportunities where Hollywood once shut people out. And that part is real. Tyler Perry has helped a lot of people, but Katt's point isn't that Perry never did good things. He's saying the intentions behind those moves might not be as clean as they look. Katt claims Perry uses his help as a way to keep control. Like it's less about empowerment and more about ownership. And that's the kind of power move Katt refuses to bow down to. So now here we are, two men from totally different lanes, both successful, both influential, but standing on opposite sides of what they believe is the truth. One believes you play the game to win. The other believes the game itself is the real problem. And that's why this goes way beyond simple drama. It's a clash of principles. Because if Katt is right, then Tyler Perry represents something deeper. The idea that you can look free on the outside while still moving inside a system that controls everything from the shadows. Katt broke it down in his own way. He said, "Just because you got your own studio don't mean you really free. If the same people you say you broke away from still signing your checks, then you still locked into their rules." That line hit people hard, not because it attacks anyone, but because it challenges what success really means in an industry that keeps the same power structure in play. And Katt isn't scared to flip that structure upside down. He's not afraid to call out what he sees, even if it puts him at odds with the biggest names out there. So where does this whole situation go from here? Well, Tyler Perry hasn't responded publicly, not yet, but if things go like they usually do, he might stay silent. No direct reply to Katt, no back and forth. He'll keep his cool, drop another project, smile for the cameras, and let the business machine keep rolling. But deep down, he knows Katt's words struck a nerve. Because real truth doesn't need evidence to sting. It just lands with weight. And people out here are paying close attention. The streets are talking, the timelines are going wild, and everyone's trying to figure out where they stand. So now it's your turn. Do you see Tyler Perry as the inspiring mogul who flipped his whole life into an empire? Or do you think Katt Williams is right and all this success is just a polished illusion made to look flawless? Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, share this with your people, and drop a comment below. I want to know what you think. Does Tyler Perry hold real power? Or is it all just a clean-cut image the industry loves to push? Either way, one thing's clear. Katt Williams is never scared to pull the mask off anyone if he feels the truth needs to be heard. See you in the next one.